All right, YouTube, welcome back. So I wanted to talk about second gen 3.5 roller failures. You know about that, Judd? Ford's 3.5 roller failures. It's the same design as Chrysler's 3.6 lifter and roller. Same exact design. You wonder why your engine's ticking and rattling? It's the same teeny tiny part getting its butt kicked. And with overextended oil changes and not the proper add pack for the engine, it's a recipe for disaster. So if you look at this problem, right, it's not just fixing the follower, it's camshaft, lifter, roller, timing chain, guides. If you think these manufacturers have your best interest in mind when they ask you for $70,000 or $50,000 for a brand new Ford truck or a Chrysler product, absolutely not. And I'm going to say this. In the earlier days, right, Jude? We had the worst. Actually, we only say the worst. We're going to have the least technology lifter design with the better quality metal, the push rods, right? And we're talking about not overhead camshafts. We're talking push rod motors, okay? Push rod motors. We had rocker arms that were ball and cup with a flat machine, not flat, with a rounded half moon surface that pushed on the valve stem, right? So it was like half an acorn with a nut and then a stamped rocker that moved on the stud of the cylinder head, right? And if you change your oil regularly and you didn't overextend it, what do you want from me? That design did not fall apart and eat up your camshaft. And all the old heads out here will remember this, right? So we had less technology, less design, more mass in the valve train, no rollers, no fulcrum points like that, and we didn't have the valve train and camshaft failures we do today. So why is that? Well, for many reasons. Let's just start with, they want the valve train to be as light as it possibly can, and how do you get the valve train to be as light as it possibly can? Well, you have to reduce the size of the moving components, right? So now you have multiple little valve springs, right? Or little valve springs, and then you have all these little needle rollers that are put under extreme stress. So it doesn't take an engineer or rocket scientist to say that we're under engineering the valve train for the demands of the engine's under. That's simple. And we're not recommending the right oil changes, right oil and add packs and oil change intervals for these engines. So I will tell you that I have many of 3.6 customers that absolutely do not have any roller, rocker, or camshaft issues well into their 200,000 miles. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not because they use the crappy part or it's a bad run of product. That has nothing to do with that. What it is that the customer comes in and they're getting a full synthetic oil change all the time between 3,000 and 5,000 miles. And these are my fleet customers. So they don't have lifter ticking and all that stuff. It's the customer who's thinking they're getting the right oil for their car, wherever they're going, right? It could even be the dealership. You don't know what they're putting in the car. Or the quick lube, or your local guy who's just saying, well, put whatever in it, right? And over a period of time, whatever turns into, whatever your engine screwed up. So the right oil, right? The right service at the right price. That's where, that's my motto. You put the right oil in your car. If it doesn't fit your budget, we're not your shop. I'm sorry, we won't put the wrong products in your car. And we're always going to advise a better product. So Ford is basically, if I had to say, buying the same followers from the same manufacturer that built Chrysler's 3.6. And like I said, years ago we had less technology, it was more mass, it was less efficient, But we weren't eating camshafts, and we weren't eating rollers, and we weren't eating the lifters, right? Look at the lifters in a Ford. They're like, I don't know, like maybe a 44 Magnum Bullet. That's nothing for a lifter. Nothing. You can't expect something like that to last a long period of time. And this is what it comes into. You spend 40, 50, 60, 80 grand for your fancy Ford truck. Even that, we have more $100,000 vehicles produced today than we ever had for the average people, right? There's more $100,000 vehicles out here today, and they're getting closer, right? So that the closest car you can get is around $25,000 with nothing, and they don't usually have those cars on the lot. You know why? Because they don't want to sell you that car. They want to sell you the car with profits attached. So not only do they want to sell you the car with the highest profits attached, they want to sell you the car with the highest failure rates for mechanical failure and technology failure, right? So what does that mean to you? In the next few years of your new car purchase, you're probably going to need an engine or some type of major engine repair. Why? Because you're not in the shop regularly enough for the proper maintenance for that engine. There is no blanket maintenance schedule for each individual manufacturer and the engines they produce today, right? Years ago, we used to have, we'll just use Corvette, Mobil 1 only, Mobil 1 only. I can't tell you how many Corvette owners I could say that ever said that their camshafts and rocker arms and lifters had failed from doing the right oil changes. Can't. We had certain turbocharged vehicles, and they were the slim production vehicles, a very small amount of turbocharged diesel and gasoline production vehicles 30, 40 years ago were the slim. Now you pop the hood on almost every vehicle today, turbocharged. Beating the crap out of it. What are turbocharged engines for, right? Turbocharged diesel vehicles, workhorses, right? Turbocharged gasoline-powered vehicles, race cars. Supercharged naturally aspirated vehicles, race cars. So they detune these cars and detune these power plants and put them into your vehicles with the cheapest quality parts, and then not advising the customer that, hey, you're buying the Kia K4, we're just going to use that for example, and you have to change the oil every 3,000 miles. And then the Kia K whatever, next model up, is their turbocharged, more powerful engine. And hey, you have to change the oil all the time, but you have to use the highest grade oil that has the right add packs. So every car that's sold, there is no blanket oil change for everyone. And this is what the consumer thinks is when they go in to get an oil change. And the smart ones know. The ones who aren't educated about their products, they're in for doomsday. But years and years and years ago, I'm just going to give this as a crude example, right? All we did was have a ball seat with a stamped rocker arm, and all it did was rock back and forth on there, and that stuff didn't wear out. We had less oil pressure, right? Lower quality oil back then than we do today. Probably about the same behavior for most people, but I think standardization was pretty beat into the consumers that, hey, change your oil every 3,000 miles, and every time that you get gas, which was very frequent in the old days because your car didn't get 30 or 40 miles to the gallon, you were lucky to get between 8 and 15. And then as technology advanced, it got a little bit better. To check your oil every time you fueled up, and if it was low, fill it up. How many older engines have I seen that were ran low on oil, not from burning it, and the older cars, if they were burning oil, you would see it on startup from valve guides or valve guide seals, and then if it continued to smoke the whole entire time, the rings were shot for some reason or other. Unmaintained motor, zero. And they had the worst, the least efficient valve train designs of today, right? But better quality iron, better quality stainless steel, and worse quality oil, and we had less engine failure. It was very, very, very uncommon for us to see a time and chain failure in a car. Time and chain stretch, yes. And then you could just manually go in there and advance the distributor to make up for time and chain stretch, because time and chains do stretch, but not to the point of what we're seeing failures today. So, it's crazy. So I'm gonna say, you wanna buy this crap that they're selling, and it is crap, you're buying bells, whistles, creature comforts with the worst design, the worst technology, the worst IT departments, trying to figure out what's going on. Jeep in their EV Jeep. You're telling me your engineers didn't know this shit when they built that you were going to have these problems? You didn't tell your customer when they bought this car that they're going to have to come in all the time for software updates? And the battery is the high failure rate. Like you're right, the battery is the highest, that's your fuel, the highest failure rate in the vehicle. And if that has software issues, then every other module in your vehicle will have software issues. And you cannot wirelessly update some of these vehicles. So Tesla can do some of their soft wireless updates. If they need to do a real update, you're going in, your car's down. And if the internet's slow or the Wi-Fi is a problem, it could take hours, if not days, to get your car done right. So the highest failure point in your EV in Chrysler Jeep is the battery module, right? Which means it needs a new battery. If they can't reprogram it and say, do what we want and exercise these programs, guess what? You need a new battery. What's going to happen to you when it's out of warranty? You're not going to be able to get that fixed. Nor would you want to. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. How about that? You're driving down the road, your engine light comes on, and wow, everything feels okay, but then you got a $20,000 problem out of warranty brewing. That's a kick in the balls. But yeah, so Ford's got their roller lifter issue. It's the same design as Chrysler's 3.6, right? So they're 3.5. Same exact design, garbage. And these engines, are under extreme demands in a turbocharged 3.5, twin turbocharged. Chrysler's 3.6s are not turbocharged, but it's the same valve train design, same exact design. The components are probably identical, and their GM and Chrysler are buying them from the same, Ford and Chrysler are buying from the same manufacturer. And, they don't say, hey, you better make sure your customers change your oil every 3,000 miles with the highest grade oil. They're not doing that. And here's what you have. Your car's failed in warranty, and you're going to put the same exact crap products back in it, and then it's going to fail again out of warranty, and then you're going to be screwed, right? Most people's engines are failing just out of warranty because they're not being maintained properly. And that's just my opinion. Like I said, I have many 3.6 engines that come in here. They get full synthetic oil changes between 3,000 and 5,000 miles, and I write every sticker for 3. And if they push it past the 3,000 miles, Rachel's telling them, hey, stop pushing the oil past 3,000 miles. We're here to advise you your best maintenance practice to keep your engine maintenance free. Not maintenance free, mechanical failure free. Somebody also said, not to get way off subject, someone said to me, Walmart does a GDI service for $20, Jude. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But I want you to think about that. Oh, I'm tired of going to my mechanic and spending a couple bucks here and there. We'll say $300 today and for repairs isn't shit. The average labor rate at a dealership is $200 an hour or more. Your average aftermarket shop is between $150 and probably $180. So for you to go in and get an hour's worth of work, including parts, $300 isn't shit today, let me tell you. $1,000 is the norm when you come in for repairs. And what do you think it's going to cost you at the dealership for out of warranty repairs? Do the math. Their labor rates are higher and their parts usually cost more. So you're tired of seeing your mechanic, right? And you drive your car to the mechanic and you have to pay a few $100 here, a few $100 there. Well, I don't know if your car has high mileage on it, right? High mileage machinery is going to have more failure rates and different systems here and there. And if you neglect them, then it's going to seem like they all failed at the same time, and they didn't. So you have to expect when you have a high mileage vehicle that your repairs at some point in time are going to become more costly at some point, and then it could be a period of that, right? That the wheel bearings or the alternator or the AC compressor. But once you get past those 10 and 15 and 20-year-old mechanical parts that are worn out or failed, you're pretty much on cruise control again for another 5 or 10 years without needing serious mechanical replacements of parts. Not like today's engines. They're going to fix $8,000 or $10,000 worth of work right now under warranty or not under warranty, and you can sure as shit bet within 30 or 40,000 miles that same $8,000 or $10,000 worth of work is going to be needed again, because they're not putting improved quality parts in there. They're putting the same shit back in your engine. And if you continue to maintenance the engine the same way that they told you, or outside of the maintenance practices, and you're that kind of customer says, well, I got a few more thousand miles to go, when you really have no clue and it doesn't, and your engine is in there, it's self-destructing itself. But yeah, that was our talk for today. You know, I would never listen to a dealership's maintenance practices for any car. And if you do, you're just setting yourself up for failure. That's for sure. You're going to go to the dealership. You're going to plop down $5,000 or $10,000, $20,000, maybe $30,000 on a $60,000 or $80,000 car, so you can have a $1,000 a month car payment. Consider that guy your mechanic, right? And what you're trading off is a new car smell, a new car feel, a new car technology, and you're handing them $1,000 a month. Well, your regular mechanic on your old car, you weren't handing him $1,000 a month. It may have happened here and there that you were in a shop and it seemed like you're here all the time dumping $1,000 into your old car. And that's true all the way around the world. But then it stops for a while. Your car payments don't stop until you stop paying for it consciously or the agreement has been satisfied, right? Crazy. You're better off keeping your old car, staying with it, keeping up. Like I had 2 cars in here yesterday. 200,000 mile Jeep 3.6. Engine's kitten quiet. Purred like a kitten, no noise. Same engine, full synthetic oil change right out of his mouth. I want full synthetic oil change, whip my tires, fix my washers. Car was mint, body wasn't beat up. But it wasn't out of his reach of keeping it. After I was done with the car, it felt and rode like a brand new car. It didn't smell like a brand new car, but that's what happens over a period of time. Plenty of high mileage vehicles out here that wind up needing heavy repairs for a little bit, right? We had some fleet vans in here that were going to Monroe. They were going to Monroe for maintenance. Your buddy's pest control company? No. Your buddy's pest control company was going to Monroe for maintenance. And then when they asked us to do an oil change and a maintenance inspection, brakes were worn out, filter's not done, throttle body's not done. And then what they said? Well, we were going to Monroe and we thought we were getting advised properly. No, dude. So all of his vans that he was going to one service provider, that they were neglecting all the required maintenance at 100,000 miles, right? So when he got to us, we're like, hey, this is due, this is due, this is due, this is due, this is due. All right, I'll bring you back. Thanks for watching.